Hi, I'm Dave Wurzel, and you're watching PHTV4. This is Police Update, and today we have a special guest with us, Officer Josh Casey, and we're going to get to meet him, know him. He's just completed, I believe, your first year in force in Palos Heights?
That's correct.
Congratulations.
Thank you, thank you.
So we're going to get to meet Officer Casey, and then we're also going to get to a very serious topic. We're going to talk about scams that people face, especially scams, some specific to this time of year, even though there's some that obviously they're running year-round. You know, the bad people don't stop. But before we get to the scam topic, how about if we talk about something a little bit maybe more enjoyable? First of all, again, congratulations. At 1 year, that's awesome. How did you get started in law enforcement, and how did you come to Palos Heights?
Yeah, that's a great question. So in 2019, I graduated from college. I got a degree in business management.
Doesn't sound like criminology.
Exactly, yeah. So it was quite the career shift. But honestly, it was about my junior year in college when I was like, I don't really want to sit behind a desk my entire life. So that got me into the conversation of law enforcement. So a couple of years, I worked some jobs trying to apply for different departments or agencies. I would say my cousin-in-law, who was actually a Border Patrol agent, he was the one that kind of made that initial suggestion to me, like, hey, why don't you consider this? And I loved it ever since, honestly. So.
Well, that is incredibly fortunate. I think about you must have had a career path. You were thinking business.
Correct.
And then you found something that you've loved even better, or that can work out like that. That is a wonderful way to get there. So it sounds like your cousin was part of the inspiration to get into law enforcement.
He sure was.
Okay.
Like I said, he was an agent there, and I have 2 years on currently, well, just under 2 years, because I went to the route of I was applying for the Border Patrol because I was trying to follow in his footsteps. But then I ended up going to a local department, Wooddale Police Department.
Okay.
And then once I left there, that's kind of how I transitioned over.
Okay. Well, then again, welcome to Palos Heights.
Thank you.
I'm glad you're here. So you, as an officer at Palos Heights, and you've had your first year in, you said you don't like sitting behind a desk. And I'm sure part of your job probably is a little bit behind a desk, but what does a typical day look like for you? Is there a typical day?
Well, first off, let me say, there's actually a lot of sitting behind a desk. When you're writing reports, you gotta, details matter, so that's, can't discuss one without having the other.
Right.
But a typical day, I mean, it's hard to say because it fluctuates. Obviously our job is very dynamic in many regards, so there's one day where we're having roll call in the morning, and there's other days where we're going out to an accident, right off the bat, signing in. So I would also say it depends on, we rotate between days and nights. So whatever, days might be a little bit busier, whereas nights might be a little bit calmer and more structured.
The type of activity that's going on versus a day versus a night shift. I imagine you're in court sometimes too?
That is correct. Usually if we make any type of arrest, we'll have a court date at least once a month where we go and, handle that situation in court. So,
how about, do you see yourself, like what you're doing right now, do you see this as a career, or do you see yourself, I don't know, detective or CIT, like moving into another type of something related to law enforcement? Yeah,
I mean, I love patrol. Obviously, I have just under 2 years experience, so I'm still learning.
Right.
Every day you're learning with this job, so I would see myself in the future, hopefully maybe on the SWAT team one day.
Oh, really?
I take interest in that sort of thing. I could also see myself detective maybe one day, and hopefully way down the line, moving up the ranks, deputy chief perhaps one day.
Well, good luck. No, it sounds like a great path, a great set of goals to pursue. I hope you get the SWAT or detective if that's out there, and
Thank you.
And then the upper level stuff. That's great. Are you ready to do a lightning round?
Let's do it.
All right, let's meet Josh here. How about when you were little and in grade school, right? Little Josh, what did you want to be when you grew up?
Oh man, so my dad
wasn't an officer.
No, it was not. My father was in business, so I think since a young age I kind of saw my father doing business, so I just kind of wanted to follow in his route at the time.
It was something you knew or saw.
Correct. So that was me.
Okay. How about this? To recharge, and I envision being an officer being a very stressful job at times, right?
Sure.
But you need to recharge, get your mind clear, get ready to get up and go again. How about vacations? Where do you go or what do you do?
Oh yeah, so I feel like it's been a while since I had one, but if my
I'll talk to the
ideal,
chief and see if we can get you a few days.
well, thank you. I would say, yeah, I would definitely say going to a beach. I want to relax with my toes in the sand, maybe drinking out of a coconut, some coconut water. You know, that's my type of relaxing.
Okay. So
recharge.
true relaxed time.
Yes.
True relax, and I like the beach. I can hear the surf even.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. How about you're invited to speak at a career day at a high school? Okay. What advice would you give to students who are thinking about a career in law enforcement?
Yeah, I would definitely say physical fitness is going to be very important, especially going from a civilian to the actual law enforcement. You have to go through the academy. So starting physical fitness early and getting prepared, if you are interested in that, that kind of is a big deal. And then second, I would say just start reading some books that have to do with, you know, law enforcement, whether that's like specific to a state that you're in, perhaps like Illinois, or if you want to go somewhere else, just get semi-accustomed with laws that you may have to learn in the future.
What the job looks like and the types of laws that you're working with.
Correct.
Okay. How about you've been asked to work with a rookie police officer? So you're not a rookie anymore. We'll even tack it a few years if you want. But working with a rookie officer, what advice would you give them? Now, this is the person who's now in the job with you. What advice would you give to a rookie officer?
I would definitely say asking questions is essential. You need to ask questions. When you don't know something, it's okay because you don't have that time on, you know, you don't have that time yet. So I still ask questions every single day. I'm on the job, you know, little things or bigger things. So getting the knowledge from someone that you know and trust is essential to functioning in this line of work.
That's a really good point. In terms of being successful at your job, and you don't necessarily have to reinvent the wheel, even though I'm sure there's always developments and improvements or changes. Yeah, ask the question, find out, talk to an expert. How about this one? So we know you thought business at one point, and it seems like you found your dream job, but we're going to pretend that maybe this isn't your dream job. If you could be anything else other than a police officer, that would be the dream of dream jobs. What would you be?
Ooh. Oh, man. Okay. If I could be anything else, I would probably, very unrealistic, but I would say perhaps a Fortune 500 company owner.
Okay. All right. Like a CEO
of a big company.
Big time.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that was the point of making it a dream question. Maybe it's still out there, but I'm glad you're happy with the police thing. All right. So, Jess, thank you for introducing yourself. Now I want to transition to the topic that we're really concerned about, especially at this time of year, I think. I think we're aware in a variety of ways scams are taking place all the time.
Yes.
People fall victim. I'm going to throw out, these numbers are horrifying. Some of these I pulled off the FBI and the FTC and AARP. I'll give you this one. Seniors in 2023 lost $3.4 billion. In 2022 was 3.1. Let me give you another number here. This is really frightening to me. Overall scams, not just seniors, in 2023, $10 billion. So seniors as a single group were hit the hardest. To me, that's obviously a huge number. Another number related to that I want to share to talk about who falls victim. The Federal Trade Commission reported 853,000 plus, a little bit more than that, in imposter scams, which I think is one we're going to talk about today. What are imposter scams, and how do people fall victim to them? Related to that, though, we're talking about seniors, but actually anybody and everybody can be a potential victim of a type of scam. I know seniors tend to lose the biggest dollar amount, but actually it's a younger group, I think 20 to 29 or so, that actually report being scammed the most, but not the larger dollar amount, right? And we could probably speculate or guess as to why that is. So what I'd like to talk about with you is what are some scams people should be aware of, and then headed into the holiday season, are there specific scams we should be mindful of headed into Thanksgiving and Christmas and the New Year?
Yeah, so definitely in Illinois alone, some big scams that have been going around. People are getting calls from, this is kind of the imposter scam route. People will receive calls from people claiming to be either law enforcement or attorneys, and then they'll be requesting money for their grandchildren. So this is we're talking about affecting the elderly a little bit more, or them losing more money. So they'll reach out to them and request money, saying your grandchild is in trouble, they need to post bail, something along those lines. And them not being suspecting of this, their first concern is their grandchildren, obviously. So they'll go out and follow their instructions, and usually their instructions involve getting some type of payment, withdrawing a large sum of money from a bank, then going out and purchasing either prepaid gift cards or debit cards, and then having someone come to pick them up, or either having them drop them off in a certain location.
So you're saying somebody's asking for payment to cover something that's happening, and they'll actually have a person show up at your house to collect that debit card or that payment, that gift card, whatever the...
It can be from their house, or they'll usually, if they don't trust that location, they'll have them drive somewhere that they feel might be safe, like an open parking lot, or somewhere maybe more secluded, where they feel there are less cameras, perhaps.
Right. No, that's interesting, because that's not an online scam. I mean, we've all seen, I think, online scams in our emails. Those are pretty prevalent. This one you're talking about, there actually will be, might be online, might be a phone call, but it will lead to a destination, whether your place or somewhere else. And I know that, unfortunately, that does happen in our community, the imposter scams. They pretend to be, like you said, somebody official. Right?
That's correct.
Any other types of scams you want to mention?
There are more so along the computer route, the technology route. People claiming to be, Microsoft employees, saying that you're going to have a virus on your computer, which leads them, similar situation to then going out and withdrawing a large sum of money in order to fix your computer or prevent it from losing all of its data and information. They'll strike fear, but again, they pretend to be officials in Microsoft. You
might use the Microsoft logo or whatever.
Correct.
The way they,
correct.
I'd like to transition then, and if you have other scams you want to address, please let's do that. Some that can take place year-round, but are also especially specific to the holidays. Okay, I know I've seen these. I've gotten these emails. I feel like I've gotten texts like this too, where, and maybe you can speak to this if you've seen this, in your year here at Payless. Where has it been reported? Where people get an email or a text that says, "Hey, we have a product for you, a package for you. We need to deliver it, but we need, final payment or some type of, shipping fee or whatever."
Yeah, I've received texts similar to that. Yeah. So unfortunately, I know I didn't order anything. You got to ask yourself, did you order anything? Are you expecting something? I actually haven't taken any cases on this. Other people have, but I know that when you go about this route, you basically have to ask yourself, did I order something? Am I expecting something? And if not, I would check the legitimacy of the sender, whether that's, I'd try not to, if it sounds like a weird email, I would caution you from even replying to them, but like I said, it doesn't necessarily have to be a weird email. Sometimes they look more official, a weird text. Yeah. Sometimes the text looks more official, but just try and keep track of your purchasing.
I would guess.
Purchases, I should say.
I want to relate it to that. Like and I agree with it, if it sounds funny, it doesn't feel right. Like, I didn't order anything, or why am I getting this? And let's say there's a company identified. Let's say, I don't know, a supply store or a department store or some name that is part of that. I mean, I would think at that point you can don't call their number, whatever's in the email or text. Don't respond to it, but call the source that they say they're representing and go that route.
That's always the best route.
Okay. The other one, I guess, I want to mention is and I think you've kind of talked about it, but the gift card fraud, where someone is asking you to prepay for something. You talked about for services, but they can do that in a variety of ways. Is that correct?
That is correct. It can range from services to specific products that you order versus, buying directly from a website. Instead of buying directly from a website, they'll say, "Oh, we're out of stock," or something. You have to follow this extra link or step. And in order to pay for this, it has to be a prepaid card in some type of way. So yeah, it ranges from products, services, all sorts of things, and that's the scary part.
Well, and especially when you think about the holidays, when people are buying gifts for friends or family members, they're going to bump into some of this. I'm thinking they're buying a service or something or a gift for somebody, and how they end up paying for it. It shouldn't be somebody offering to sell you something wanting payment through a prepaid gift card.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Any other scams you want to mention or talk about? I know we could talk about this a
we
lot
could.
longer.
How long you got? But I say another one is people showing up to people's houses, offering a service, and what I've noticed is people will pay for this service and then never hear from them again. So if you ever get solicited from someone offering a service of some kind, I'd say one, don't allow them into your home right away. I would say follow up and follow which company that the person may be representing. And then on top of that, if they ask for payment before a service is completed, I would advise against that until you can verify.
And I would imagine if they're soliciting like door to door, at that point you can say no, or
give us a call.
Call the police department.
Of course, yeah,
you can call the city
we handle this
out.
all the time. Yes,
Okay.
You can call either us, you can call the city. Usually they should be, in Palos Heights, they should be wearing a solicitor name tag.
Mm-hmm.
So if they're not wearing a name tag, they typically haven't been approved by the city.
Okay.
So give us a call if you suspect.
My immediate fear was, could they make a fake name tag?
Yes, they for sure can.
But the tip-off would be if they want payment in advance.
That is the main reason.
Okay. And I'll go back to that one number, over 800,000 people, and that was in 2022, whatever I said. You're not alone. I mean, people getting sick. You get,
you get the text. They put them on blast.
Yeah, right, exactly. Knowing that if I hit so many, somebody's going to bite. So people shouldn't hesitate. Call the police. Call City Hall. You can deal with this. Don't jump and think first. Look before you leap, kind of.
Yes, for sure.
Okay. All right, Josh, thank you very much. Thank you for the tips and advice about the scams. Also, thank you for your career path with us.
Thank you so much for having me. Thank the city of Palos Heights.
Glad to have you. Welcome to Palos Heights.
Thank you.
I'm Dave Worsley. You've been watching PHTV4 Police Update. We've been talking with Officer Josh Casey. Thank you for watching.